Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my Lotus Esprit S2 restoration project. I call it a restoration project, but so far all we've done is kind of take it apart. But today is a bit of an exciting day because I'm going to be taking this backbone chassis to a sandblasting place to get it cleaned up and hopefully start that restoration process of putting it all back together. So last time I took the suspension and steering off the chassis, but there were a couple of things I still needed to do before I could take it to a sandblaster's. So what I'll do is I'll drop in the work that I've done up until now, and then there's a couple more bits I need to do before we take it to the media blasting place. So let's have a look at that. So the first thing I did was go around the car and take photos of where the brake lines and clutch pipe went, as this would help me put things back in the right places when I came to reassemble it. Then I started to remove the clutch pipe, hoping to replace this with a better item as these plastic ones are notoriously bad. I accidentally sprayed clutch fluid all over the place as I gathered up that pipe, something I had to clear up. These brake clips were really annoying to actually get off the car, so what I had to do was just bend them back and then release the brake lines that way, and I'll come back to those later. I then proceeded to break my socket. It was my fault for using a bit of a weedy one. I used the bigger one and removed that connection at the front there, and then I had to snip the brake line and pull it through the chassis as there were too many bends to get it through from the other side. I removed the brake line connector at the back, and then that allowed me to remove the rest of the pipe from the chassis. I got rid of a few rubber bungs that are in the holes in the chassis there. And then I had to fish out some bits and pieces from inside the box sections, like old bits of pipe. I wondered what it was like to be a vet at this point. Then a quick hoover up of the engine cradle, where lots of bits of rust and dirt had accumulated. So as you saw, there were a few bits and pieces I needed to do before getting it ready to take to the blasters, but I'm not quite finished. I've got a heat shield, some nuts and bolts on some studs that need to be removed, some foam that's still attached to the chassis, and some clips at the front here that I just quickly need to take off before trying to get it in the Land Rover and taking it to the blasters. I'm under a bit of time pressure, so I may or may not get all of that filmed, but yeah, you'll join me on the road as we start driving it to where this restoration can start. So I've just dropped off the chassis at this place called Just Like New Sandblasting, which is in Sussex. Well, Rudgwick is the name of the village or town, just on an industrial estate here, but they do all sorts of stuff. They do garden furniture, but they have had Corvette chassis, they've had Ferrari Dino bodies that they've blasted and that sort of thing. So I feel like it's in pretty good hands, and you know, they've got a good price and that sort of stuff. So it's just a waiting game now. So they say it will take about a week and then I'll come and collect it. Apologies, I'm kind of recording this on my phone, so I'm kind of looking in a weird direction because I'm looking at the screen rather than the camera. Yeah, I completely forgot to bring all of my cameras and stuff in my haste to try and bundle the chassis into the back of the Land Rover. It did just about fit, bit sketchy, but yeah, managed to secure it. So that's good to know that I can unpick out next week, and yeah, we can have a little look at the state of it. So pretty exciting stuff, and I'll keep you updated with what happens next. Okay, so a week has gone by and I now have the chassis back with me again after being blasted, and on first impressions it's looking pretty decent actually. So what they've done is that they've used grit to blast off all the old rust and loose bits of paint and that sort of thing, and they've done a zinc phosphate coating as well, which is a rust inhibitor, just to stop it from rusting immediately after blasting, which is good. And although that's a rust inhibitor that's been put on there, it's not like a waterproof coating or anything like that, so I still need to prime it, and that's kind of the next stage of what I need to do, and that'll be the next video that I do, but there are sort of steps to it which I'll explain in a bit. But yeah, looking at the chassis, it's really good, no sort of damage that I can see as such, which is great. And from what I was looking at George's videos of his chassis when he blasted that, there are a few sort of weak areas which I was sort of concerned might be the same on mine. So first one to talk about right at the back here, and it's where the gearbox mounts, I think, sort of sit inside this back channel, and there's kind of like a double walled bit of metal where the brackets sit, and I think on George's they'd kind of like started to almost split apart with sort of moisture that got between the panel inside here. I'll try and get a little bit of a video up of what they look like, and so water got between like these double thickness bits of metal that have been welded on, and they'd started to sort of bulge outwards, and I'm pleased to say on mine they look really straight and fine. The other bit was right at the front of the car. You have these sort of box sections that the I think the steering rack bolts to, and they're kind of open at the top, and they have a sort of closed off bit at the bottom, and George's had sort of rusted through the bottom there, and he had to sort of weld a new bit over, but again mine are intact there as well. So yeah, so even though this chassis looks really bad, I think because it was quite a low mileage car and it had just been sort of stationary inside that garage, a lot of it was more sort of surface rust rather than sort of weather and wear and tear type of damage to the chassis. So what we're kind of left with actually, which doesn't look so good, is where a lot of the surface rust has attacked the metal. There's quite a lot of pitting. So yeah, we're gonna have to see what that looks like. So next steps then, I've got to kind of clean it up. There's still quite a lot of grit inside the box sections and that sort of thing. So I need to get the hoover out, hoover that up, wipe it all down. And I also have forgotten to take out a couple of rubber bungs for where the tubes went through the chassis, and I'm gonna have to take them out. It's probably sand down the old paint and any rust that's there and treat that. Yeah, and give it all a coat of like a rust treatment, and then do like an anti-rust primer over the top. Then have a bit of a better look at it, see how the pitting looks. Then I might have to do like a high build to sort of make that look a bit better. But I'm not going to be overly precious about it because it is just the chassis. It's not going to be on display. It just has to hold the suspension and car sort of together. It doesn't need to look like a sort of showpiece or anything like that. So I'm not going to go too mad with it. And yeah, I'm going to start that very soon after filming this. I've got most of the supplies. I'm just waiting for my sort of inflatable spray booth to come, and then I can start working on it. But yeah, super exciting, super pleased that it's not got any obvious sort of cracks or holes or anything like that, and it's just a bit of sort of cosmetic stuff that I need to clean up. So yeah, very happy. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll enjoy watching the next one where I actually get to paint it up a bit, and hopefully while I'm painting it I'll have a bit of a closer look at the various bits and pieces and if there is anything to repair, and yeah, we'll talk about that next time. Well, thanks all for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.